back to the old-fashioned fantasy football podcast.
You're excited today.
I
That had
am
extra
your
juice.
host, James the Man Morant. Well, it's draft day weekend. It's draft weekend.
It is.
Here with me, as always, my co-host, Gary the Oso Vitrone.
We're back.
And we've got our producer behind the computer screens, Brant the Medicine Man Parker.
Brant's back, baby.
That's right. Can't wait. We're doing a mock draft. I know we've done them before. We've done like 4 or 5 of them now.
Yes.
But here's the thing. This is draft weekend. This is what you need to watch. This is what you need to see. What do we actually do in drafts? How do we actually approach it? What do we think about? What goes into our head at each round? What guys are we in between trying to figure out? What decisions that we've already made? How does that affect our future decisions?
Yes.
This is exactly what you need to be focused on. Other things to know. Injuries. I've had at least 3 drafts now where either someone grabbed Herb Smith, they grabbed J.K. Dobbins, they grabbed...
Are you kidding me?
One. I had one where he paid $18 in an auction for him.
Whoa. But the person who nominated him,
He nominated him for $18.
Dude, I had a draft that happened to with Andrew Luck.
Oh,
like
wow.
years ago, obviously, when
Yeah.
he's like, I'm out, and you knew it, and people are like, oh no, he's still really good.
He could still totally come back.
It's like, nope.
No.
I love that. That's too funny.
So, these are the things you got to keep up to date on. Watch our Twitter. We will tweet about the important guys who are going to be there or are no longer there. I can't stress that enough. Now teams are down to 53 guys, so you can really see how it all is lined up, who's in great spots, who's not. You're seeing some final movement, but those are going to be guys at the back of the bench that are coming from different teams. Like, for instance, Royce Freeman got picked up yesterday. I don't care.
No, I don't care.
Anyways, we're about to draft here. 12-man PPR. I'm talking over Matthew Berry.
Good.
And I'm the 4th
You're pick 4.
Yep.
I'm at 11.
You got it.
We're not going to snipe each other as much because we don't have that opportunity.
Right. But let's see how this goes.
Here we are.
Christian McCaffrey off first. Number 1 was Austin Eckler. Then Christian McCaffrey. Then Dalvin Cook.
That's too funny.
This is a live draft, so we'll see what everyone does.
Yes.
I mean, this makes the pick for me, the 4th pick, really easy.
It's gonna be Kamara or
it's gonna be Kamara. They're at a PPR, no question. Yeah. Derrick Henry would be the next pick off the board. That's who I'd expect at the 4th. But Kamara's there. I'm taking him. That's no question. Then comes off Zeke, Saquon, Derrick Henry. I'm okay with that in a PPR, quite frankly.
I'm fine with that.
Like that order doesn't surprise me. The shocking one is Austin Eckler. But at the same time, if you are high on Austin Eckler in a PPR, maybe still no.
My guy's here.
He is. Aaron Jones is there. Jonathan Taylor's still
there,
which is pretty impressive. You've got 2 more guys in front of you.
All right.
Devontae Adams just went off the board. Nick Chubb went at the 8th pick. Then Devontae. Like I said, you're number 11.
Kelsey, actually, that would have been interesting. I probably would have actually gone Kelsey there. I was scanning the running backs.
Yeah.
I might have tried to get Kelsey there. This one for me, all is going well in Indy. I don't care that they're getting Nyheim Hines a little bit more involved. I'm going Jonathan Taylor here.
Like it.
Feel good.
So talk to me about where that line is for Kelsey. So is that where you're going with Kelsey there right before Aaron Jones?
Because I've got a pretty quick turnaround.
Yep.
Oh, this is awesome. This worked out perfectly.
Absolutely.
Like I didn't even need to think about that one. Yeah.
We didn't even have to
That
discuss
happened
it.
a few times last night too, where I was like, oh, please follow me. But I'm looking at guys. I know it's a short turnaround. I'm looking at guys that I'm hoping are going to be there. When they're gone, I've still got my 2nd or 3rd option.
And I definitely like Kelsey there because you still had Aaron Jones and Najee.
Yes.
He's still there, so you knew one of them was most likely going to get there.
Back. Yeah, I mean there were so many like stud receivers up there too.
Yes.
I don't mind playing that game.
I'm not a fan of it. I do want to get out of the first 2 rounds with at least 1 running back, but I understand where you felt okay with it.
Yeah, and I didn't get Kelsey, but I'm feeling good. In my mind, I have 2 top 10 running backs. Feels good.
I think you definitely have 2 RB1s there, so I'm excited about it.
If Kelsey had been gone, which he was, and if my running backs if I had gotten Jonathan Taylor was my first pick, if Najee was gone, I think I would have gone ahead, and there's a drop off at running back at that point for me. I don't care about Mixon, as you know. I think I would have just gone Ridley. Okay. Gotten my number 2 wide receiver.
Number 2 wide receiver off the board.
Yes, sir.
I understand that. I'm not surprised to hear that from you. So, looking at the guys that's left, DK Metcalf, I'm not very high on. Justin Jefferson, I like a nice bit. CEH went off the board, which is really the guy I'm looking for running back wise, usually at that spot. The next guy is David Montgomery, but that's a bit of a reach for me with the quality of wide receivers who's available here.
Yeah.
Quick, make your pick.
I'm going to go ahead and go with Justin Jefferson here. I'm picking him over DK Metcalf.
I would too. I'd pick him ahead of A.J. Brown as well. The injury there is a little bit concerning.
For A.J. Brown, yes.
A.J. Brown,
yes,
yeah.
The knee injury, and again, coming off of the knee surgeries this offseason, I am nervous about him, which is making me more and more like Julio.
Yes.
I very much like it. If I can get Julio Jones as my number 2 wide receiver as my wide receiver 2, that's pretty freaking amazing. Or if I get a couple great running backs and then have to have Julio Jones as my 1, I'm okay with that too.
That might be the situation that I find myself in. I've got a while till it comes back to me. We'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Man,
is that who you're hoping for? Who are you looking at going, come on, get back to me right now?
I would go running back if... So guys that I would take...
Montgomery, Swift.
Swift. I'm skipping Sanders. I'm probably skipping Robinson. Chris Carson, I like. After that, there's a big drop-off. I would go wide receiver.
Yep.
There's still so much talent here.
There is.
I would skip... if CD fell to me somehow, that would be amazing. I'm sure we're going to see more quarterback. Yeah, it's 2 tight ends just went. I'm not thinking tight end here. When we drafted last night, when did we get our tight ends?
We got them around the 6th round, but that was a super flex.
That was super flex with 2 quarterbacks. So that at
so
that point we had
decrease.
Yeah, so that probably would have been 5th round.
So it's my next pick again.
Yes.
I've gone Justin Jefferson along with Alvin Kamara. Now at this point, I really like David Montgomery in the third round because I've already got a top end wide receiver. I'm going to go ahead and lock down that second RB position to me with a great guy there at David Montgomery. I think it's going to get a ton of work. And again, we expect that offense to be better this year with a better quarterback play.
Regardless,
either Andy Dalton or Justin Fields. I'm really excited about it. Now, let's talk about who we don't like on that team, which I'm not a huge fan of Darnell Mooney. Let's talk about this. Well, because of the fact that most people are expecting the rookie quarterback to take over. If it's going to happen, I think it's going to happen week 4. Week 4 is the earliest that I think you should expect it. But we've talked about this before with rookie quarterbacks. They really don't provide that much value for wide receivers beyond maybe the top wide receiver. You hardly ever see 2 wide receivers with a rookie quarterback really bring that value. And so that's why I'm looking at that and going, Allen Robinson is going to be your guy.
Yeah, he'll be fine. Allen Robinson will be top 12 or 14 again, like he always is. He's awesome. With where you're drafting Mooney, though, he's like one of my last picks. The volume is going to be there. I'm hoping for a wide receiver 2. Like wide receiver 2 weeks from that. Not consistently, but last year he still had like 90 some odd targets, and I think he only played like 13 games or so.
I understand. I just am never going to pick him over Russell Gage. I'm never going to pick him over Antonio Brown. I do like other guys at that point where I'm not looking at the number 2 option for a rookie quarterback for most of the year, or anticipating that's what I'm looking at.
Normally you definitely stay away from that. And no, there goes Chris Carson. That's okay. DeAndre Swift is still there. He will probably fall to me, so I'm thinking about that. I'm looking at wide receivers. I have a quick turnaround.
You do have a quick turnaround. So that doesn't scare you at all, the fact that you'd be going 3 RBs back to back and then looking for your wide receiver 1?
Nope. I'm based on just how the draft came to me, I would try to win based on my running backs.
I agree.
That's my upside. Okay, Robert Woods. Yep. Looking at guys here, a lot of these guys are kind of in the same tier for me.
Mm-hmm.
There's a pretty hefty drop-off, in my opinion, after Swift.
I would put Gus you're right, actually.
Edwards is interesting, but the touchdown upside is capped because, of course, Lamar. Whereas, like, we talked about Hawkinson, and really it's DeAndre Swift are your 2 primary weapons here.
Yes.
Awesome O-line. That's my flex. I feel good.
I'm with it. I like it a lot.
Now
I'm not worried. I'm not worried about hearing about the preseason worries about that offensive line not melding well, Penei Sewell having trouble. That's all to be expected with a guy coming in First time having to learn to communicate at the NFL level.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. I don't expect offensive line, if they are put together for the first time, to really be good till about
5-6 weeks.
I was going to say week 4 of the regular season. It takes about 8 weeks of games. So
you've got your preseason this year. That's
preseason.
Always nice.
Mm-hmm. Thank goodness.
All right, there goes Thielen. Let's see. So this part is interesting. The top guys I really don't like that much.
I was about to say, at this point, I would take Amari Cooper.
It's probably too early for tight end for me personally.
It's too
big
too
guys
high
are
for
still
me
there.
too.
Amari's interesting. I certainly like him more than Lockett, Godwin, Kupp.
Now remember, this is you have a long wait, so this is kind of a get your guy scenario. If you have a wide receiver at this point that really sticks out with you, with how solid you are at RB, I'd go ahead and grab him.
Yeah, Amari just concerns me a little bit more long term. I do think CeeDee's going to take a bigger step forward this year. Mm-hmm. You know, Michael Gallup's there. There's still more pieces. Dak's shoulder is a little, not really, not too worried about him, but more targets. Amari, just the deep ball. I don't know about Dak. Just a little bit more questions there, especially if the O-line goes down. Short passes are going to CeeDee. I like that more.
I like Amari Cooper early on in the season. So
yeah.
I would have gone Amari Cooper there, and then just because of how strong you are at RB, really focus on the later rounds on wide receivers that I think could take that step up.
Yeah.
But I do understand what you're saying, where you're like, look, I don't want to worry about it. I'm going to pick a guy who's always there. If he's healthy, he's going to be a baller.
Oh yeah, he's going to command all the targets. Yes, I mean, you know that AJ Brown's not going to be a target monster. There's still plenty of vacated targets. AJ Brown is going to be a rock star, assuming health, of course.
Of course.
But that offense is just going to get even better. I like Derrick Henry.
So it's my pick here. So far, Kamara, Montgomery, Jefferson. I'm looking at this now. RB wise, Gus Edwards is staring at me right there, and I'm going to take him. That's not even a question to me.
Nice.
I really like
plenty of touches.
I really think that they absolutely trust him with that offense, and he's been one of their top guys. Everyone in the fantasy industry and community loves J.K. Dobbins. He was so much fun to watch in college. He was so much fun coming out. Everyone was excited about him. Gus Edwards is a great NFL running back. He is not exciting. He is consistent as hell, though. He is efficient. He's a good blocker. He's going to absolutely get plenty of work in this offense. They're going to lean a little bit on their backups, but I really think it's going to be the Gus Edwards show.
I think so too. I mean, the only concern is Lamar, but
I'm not worried with the volume he's going to get.
The volume's going to be insane, yeah, and it's with your 5th pick, so and your 4th pick, so it's pretty solid. I would feel pretty good about that.
So we're coming around here. Now, you and I usually stay the heck away from Chris Godwin because we really believe in Antonio Brown. At this point in the draft, what are you thinking for if you were in my position, if you had my team? So you've got Alvin Kamara, David Montgomery, Justin Jefferson, and Gus Edwards. Who are you looking at going? Who do you think looks like really the top guys that you're interested in?
Let's see. Yes, you look good at running back. So your option is you could go for a top 5-6 tight end.
I could go Mark Andrews or T.J. Hawkinson.
Yeah. Wide receivers, I mean, Robbie's there. I know you're high on Robbie as your wide receiver too. Ayuk would be pretty nice too. I don't care for DJ Moore, who just went. Perfect timing.
Yep.
Cincinnati, I don't care for. Juju, I don't. I'm getting
Kenny Golladay is dropping in every
really
draft. Every draft. Where are you actually looking at grabbing Kenny Golladay?
The thing is, the target should be there.
Exactly.
I would
for
grab
a good wide receiver. For a talented wide receiver.
So after Brandon Cooks for me, probably closer to LaViscus.
I was going to say, that's kind of where I'm looking at him too. I'm looking at him not where he's projected to go by ESPN in the 5th round. No he's really a 6th round guy for me. I want him on my bench. I want him to be the first guy on my bench because if he's a rock star, it doesn't matter that Daniel Jones is Daniel Jones. then I'm feeling very comfortable putting him in.
Yeah.
But if not, he's not taking up a...
Yeah, you're not dependent on him to start the season, which is awesome. Oh, there goes Josh Allen.
Yep. Josh Allen.
That's actually
fifth.
Not horrible.
There goes Patrick Mahomes. That's what I was waiting for.
Yeah. I was like, I don't remember seeing Mahomes go or Kyler. Those are kind of the top three, interchangeable depending on who you ask.
Yes.
Would you have gone? Are you even thinking about quarterback at this point?
I would have thought about Mahomes and Josh Allen, quite frankly, because I'm not that excited by the wide receivers. Beyond Robbie Anderson,
lot, right? I mean,
exactly. That's the thing.
Bad.
I expect that I'm gonna find someone that I really like later on, and I'm still thinking that. Like, I'm still trying to consider Javonte Williams or Kareem Hunt here.
That's such an interesting pick.
I think I am going to go ahead and grab Robbie Anderson. I do think he's going to be the number one guy there. Because of his connections with Sam Darnold, and he's so athletically gifted. People really didn't get to see that because of Adam Gase, but he is absolutely talented. It does.
If Ayuk would fall to me, I'd feel really good about that. And at this point too, I'm eyeing Claypool.
I know you're eyeing Claypool at this point. Absolutely.
I mean, I know you're high on him as well. I certainly would have gone with Robbie at that point too.
Robbie, Claypool,
the targets are absolutely
Jerry,
going to be
Judy.
there.
I had a long wait, and so that's why I decided to go for it.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's a drop off there after Brandon Cooks. Like, you have 4 guys there that I really like in that group between Robbie, Claypool.
Brandon Cooks is there.
Brandon Cooks, absolutely.
Damn it.
And then Jerry Judy there. Beyond that, you've got the tight ends that usually go right around this range as well.
And for me, that Detroit Pie, I do not think that's going to be big. Hawkinson is off my list.
Hawkinson is really off your list.
For me, I don't
want to... that's news to hear. For you, I understand because you have DeAndre
For me personally,
Swift.
I already have Swift. I was like, wow, I definitely did not draft this team. I'm looking at yours.
Yes.
I know what I'm doing. I've got DeAndre Swift there. I just don't want to load up on Detroit.
Okay, so that's
There's a little bit more risk there.
Not in other leagues.
No, of course not. I love him.
That's what it came off as, and I was very shocked to hear that.
No way.
So I absolutely understand you avoiding him in this league because of Swift. That's
right. I just don't.
Right, I agree.
That caps my upside too much because I see both of them. Like, you're definitely starting
DeAndre Swift.
DeAndre Swift, you have to at this point. We're on the clock. See what wide receivers we've got. And I've got the quick turnaround here as well. Let's see if there's any running backs. Kareem is interesting. There's still a decent amount of running backs I like. For me, I'm just going to go get my guy.
Go get him. Go get Claypool.
As my wide receiver, too. I love that. And that's been happening in a lot of leagues, too. I'll get 3 running backs, and he'll be my second wide receiver. That feels awesome.
I like him so much in PPR because while we don't expect him to really be the yards leader for the Steelers.
No.
He's going to get enough passes throughout a game.
Yes.
And then that's going to give him that floor with PPR. And then the touchdown upside is just astronomical.
Oh, man, it's awesome. And, yeah, he gets targeted on, like, when he is on the field, which he's not 90% of the time or anything.
No. Well, to be fair, he was as a rookie. This year, I would be intrigued to see how much he's on the field.
And there goes Juju. Which I don't think either of us want any part in.
No.
Wow, Sermon's pretty low. Still tons of talent here. So I've got 2 wide receivers.
Is Sermon the next guy for you? Because he's not the next guy for me.
No, he's not the next guy for me. I just was looking at that gap between Mostert and Sermon over there. Feels a little wide, but maybe we're just a little more bullish on Sermon.
Trey Sermon.
Yeah. At this point, give me some Kareem.
Quick, make your pick.
Coming off the bench, I feel good about that.
I really do.
Running back 10 last year. It's going to be in
fourth.
For my fourth RB,
I mean, that's incredible.
There's so many wide receivers. Like, I am a little more bullish on Jerry Judy as well. There's still just so many wide receivers I like late. And
that's the thing. You've locked down your RB spot. Do you really?
Good about that.
You might grab one more, but you really don't even need to. You have 4 guys in the top 6 rounds, and they're awesome. Jonathan Taylor, Najee Harris, DeAndre Swift, and then Kareem Hunt. You have guys that give you such a great floor that are going to be such consistent guys throughout the season. I think it's awesome.
Feel good about it.
And then you have Claypool for the upside and Julio for the upside. So that's an awesome combination.
Isn't it funny too when you look at like where we're picking, just based on like what is available, right? Like
the different teams.
So I don't have one of those quote elite running backs.
Well, Jonathan Taylor, fair. You're right. Not one of the top 4 guys.
Right. How do you feel about the 4 spot?
I'm liking it a lot right now.
It looks good. Yeah.
Alvin Kamara. This is, I think, the round where it gets interesting. So we've just seen Jerry Judy go off the board. What's the next thing that I'm going to do to really kind of separate my team from these other guns? Someone who just went, who's climbing up towards Corey Davis.
He's a target monster.
That's it. He's a target monster for Zach Wilson there. That's a team I'm really interested to see. I really prefer... I love getting Michael Carter or Tevin Coleman at the end of drafts, because if you're thinking Corey Davis is going to be so good, if you're thinking Zach Wilson and this team's going to really take a step forward, then that running back's going to get value.
And you are on the clock right now as well.
Let's see. So, Henderson stands out to me. Will Fuller, he's got the week suspension. I'm looking, there's really nothing at tight end that excites me right now. Logan Thomas is the next guy, but I do believe there's a difference there.
Yeah, there's a drop-off.
Running back-wise, I've got Kamara, I've got Montgomery, and Gus Edwards. I could lock down my 4th, or go QB with Lamar Jackson. And I think that's honestly what I'm going to do here.
That's actually pretty interesting. I like that.
In the 6th round here, the end of the 6th, I'm okay going for one of the top 3, which is Mahomes, Allen, Jackson. I do think that there's...
I've got Kyler up there.
You have Kyler as well up there. I'm fine with that. But
the rushing is just massive for Lamar. I mean, I love that.
Plus, now I've got him and Gus Edwards. I'm fine with that.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. I'm not that worried about that. It's not really a stack because he's a running back that's going to run the ball. But still,
Maybe
I
catch
like
some
that.
passes, you know?
Well, it's
not going to
good
be a
enough.
lot, but...
It's a good enough offense, quite frankly.
It is.
You know, they have scored enough that I'm still very comfortable with that.
I agree with that. I like that.
And like we've talked about, there's just enough wide receiver depth coming back around.
It sucks to see Laviska get picked, though.
Chenault?
Yeah, I've actually been really bullish on him lately.
I do think so, too. I think he's going to be... Obviously, James Robinson's going to get some extra work because Travis Etienne's out. But Laviska Chenault, I really think, will be much more involved.
And they
because
use
that's
him,
the kind of style.
He's got the skill set. Like, they'll use him in, like, all over the formation. He'll take some... He carried the ball. I forget how many times last year, but it was significant. Like, I think he had a rushing touchdown. I think he finished with 5 or 6 receiving and, like, 1 or 2 rushing. To where it was like, wow, okay, like, I know there's a coaching change, but... you're getting him involved. He has that skill set.
He does.
There goes Mostert.
I've got 3 picks before my next one.
What are you thinking?
I'm going to be honest with you. I'm thinking Sony Michel.
Yeah?
I really like Sony with the Rams because of the fact that they use the running back so much in the red zone. And I also think he will get a little more passing work with the Rams offense for PPR. That was kind of why I was hesitant. Damian Harris just went off the board. In PPR, I'm not that big of a fan. Plus, I have such great lockdown RBs right here with Kamara, Montgomery, and Gus Edwards. You've got to be really good to get in my lineup.
Right, at this point,
Yes. And so that's why I'm thinking Sony, who I think has such upside because of his touchdown, red zone work, that he might be a guy that I could actually still definitely use in my lineup.
Oh, for sure.
When it comes to running back here, or wide receiver here, Cortland Sutton, not a huge fan. Jamar Chase, definitely not a fan. Will Fuller, like we said, a week. You're seeing some guys start to go off the board. Michael Thomas, I'm not waiting that long.
No.
Marquise Brown might make a change, but I've already got 2 guys from Baltimore. I'm not touching him.
You don't want to be a Baltimore fan this year?
Not really. The next guy for me is a guy that I'm hoping comes back around to me later. So I'm going to go ahead and grab him here, Sony Michel, with my next pick.
Nice.
So, again, you've got 4 RBs now. I've got 4 RBs now. And that lets us really kind of come in here and grab whatever we want for wide receiver from the guys that are left. These guys that still have massive upside. There's, there are guys that I can say were grabbed in the 6th round that you could say almost have the exact same situation. Corey Davis. He's going to be a target monster. He's going to be the number one on an offense that you don't think might be great, but it looks like he's going to be the number one guy.
Oh, for sure.
Tell me the difference between that and Michael Pittman.
Yeah, I mean, Pittman, I feel like Pittman's interesting. So I have to trust Carson.
Mm-hmm.
I like him because
You're
of
trusting a rookie with Zach Wilson with Corey Davis.
That's true. But at least I know the targets are going to be there. There's no other competition. I guess
T.Y. Hilton's injured.
That's true. How long is he hurt? Is it?
I think it's at least a month. No,
a month.
At least a month, if not more.
Oh, I was actually eyeing Russell Wilson there too. If I was going to go quarterback that early, I was thinking about Russell.
I'm fine with that at the back end of the 7th.
Right. That's pretty tough.
And again, we don't reach for quarterbacks. They drop to an area that we were actually happy with.
Right.
Mahomes in the 3rd, I'm not touching him. I'm not looking at him. We were barely looking at him at the end of the 5th when he went.
Yeah, right.
So that's, just want to be very upfront. We are usually guys that wait till the very, very end, but the talent dropped to us here for quarterback.
Oh, yes, for sure. Let's see, just taking a quick look at running backs. Nothing is really jumping out at me at this point.
No, I think really at this point, you and I usually wait to grab Trey Sermon, Michael Carter, probably maybe with your next pick, but honestly, I would think another round after that.
Yeah, you know what? This pick's actually pretty easy for me. I really like the upside of Fuller. I don't think Devontae Parker is going to be that type of receiver that Tua can really rely on.
It's not really to his style.
It's not his style.
No.
I think that Will Fuller's got a better chance, assuming he stays good, stays clean.
Exactly.
I actually really like that.
That's going to be the interesting part for that.
Oh, Tom Brady, that sucks. That was actually, I think he's like my 5 or 6 for quarterback. Let's just take a quick glance. I do like Tannehill a lot, but I think I can wait. But let's take a quick look and see if there's anybody that jumps out. Because if nobody jumps out, there's so many wide receivers I like late. Actually, and honestly, with that being said, let's take a quick gander. You know what? I'm just going for end of season at this point. I'm going for a huge reach.
You've got a long break. I don't hate that move at all.
I'm just going to go get somebody that I love for the back end of the season.
And that locks down your RB
I'm
spot.
done.
You've got 5, you're good.
Five,
you never have to look at it. And believe me, after Michael Carter goes, there's really not much more you want to look at.
It's dry really fast. So now I get to play lottery tickets a little bit. Go for some guys.
Exactly.
Find some volume.
But that's the thing. We'd much rather play lottery tickets with wide receivers
Jinx.
than with running backs. Man, I'm so excited. It's the best time of the year. It's Christmas week. I'm so excited.
Yeah, Christmas is here.
It is.
Oh, that's too funny. All right, so you're coming up relatively soon. What are you thinking at this point?
I'm just kind of waiting at wide receiver. I'm looking at what falls to me. If Michael Carter is there, it's going to be hard for me not to lock down my last RB that I plan to grab there with the 5th.
Sure.
I've already got my quarterback, tight end, if there's something there. Really, the guys I'm looking at right now, and I'm looking at Antonio Brown. I'm trying to decide whether or not I can risk seeing if he'll come back around. I'm probably not going to. This draft has seemed like the fan favorites are going quick. You've seen guys drop.
Like that.
You've seen the same guys at the top of the board for a couple rounds. If they're not guys that most people are liking, they're reaching for their guys.
Yes.
Got no problem with it. But that means that if I really want Antonio Brown, if I really want my guy, I'm going to have to go get him.
Man.
So that's what I'm looking at there. There's some other guys around the same area that I like that I do think will get back to me. So it's an interesting spot. Where it comes to tight end, there's nothing that's really sticking out to me. Noah Fant's there, but I'm really not that excited about that with Jerry Judy.
I'm a little bit higher on Fant. I've come around on him a little bit more. I do think that I think he's going to be a safety valve. I think he's going to get a lot of those short passes. Judy's going to get his. So many mouths to feed, though. I see what you're saying. There's probably, at this point, too, though, if you are looking tight end, Jonnu Smith is interesting, especially before Hunter Henry
like
gets back.
Jonnu Smith, but that rank difference makes me think I can definitely still wait on him.
Yep.
So
I like Tanyan. I like Gesicki. Gronk is there.
So guess who went the pick before me? Antonio Brown.
Oh, that sucks.
So that's exactly what I was worried about with him. that he wouldn't come back to me, and
Yes.
he didn't. So I'm going to go ahead and go grab Michael Carter. I'm going to go grab that
Lock it
last
up.
RB. That's the position that matters most to me. If we're
Yes.
seeing them reach for those favorite guys, guess what? I'm going to go grab
Go get your
my
guy.
last favorite guy at the position that's most important for me in fantasy football. And
Yes.
for everyone, really, in fantasy
I
football.
was gonna say yeah.
Which is running back. So that was a quick, easy grab. I've got 5
Tyler Boyd is
spots.
still there,
Exactly.
which just cracks me up. Which, like you said, it looks like people are starting to fade some of those guys. Gallup is going way too high up here as well for me. There's so many guys. Mike Williams. I mean,
I like Mike Williams. You want to go down a couple more spots when it comes to
Let's
wide
take a
receiver that's really interesting to me. I've talked about Pittman. Jacoby Myers is right there, who's going to be a volume
Yep.
guy. Marquez Callaway, though, is the
Callaway.
guy who really has that upside for me. While Michael Thomas is out those 6 weeks,
yes.
at least. I'm gonna. That's who I really look at there. Who I think I'm personally hoping gets back around to me. That would be my next grab.
I was gonna say yeah, and he will get back to you. I
You'd
would
certainly
bet.
hope so. But after Antonio Brown went, I don't want to jinx it by
Good point.
assuming. And Jalen Waddle just went. It's a guess on that offense. I think there's going to be some value in that offense, but I'd rather go with who you got, Will Fuller,
I like Fuller.
who's going to be out for a week, than a rookie who will see what he does. I think Waddle's incredibly talented, but if I'm going to guess in the NFL, I'm going to guess the guy who's been there for a while.
Yes, for sure.
For at least a minute.
Last year was a pretty big outlier for wide receivers, huh?
For rookie wide receivers, absolutely.
Rookies, yes. Yep. Cole
drugs.
Beasley, I'm actually a little bit interested in Beasley as well, just from a volume perspective.
I understand you saying that because you're low on Diggs. As someone who doesn't hate Diggs with a
I don't
fiery
hate
passion
him.
that burns deep in your soul.
Look, you added Emmanuel Sanders. You've still got Diggs. Like, your running back should be healthy. The completion rate was a little too high for me.
It was incredible. I agree.
You know?
I do not expect the same kind of completion rate.
With
but
that
I expect
said-
it to be somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, of course.
And
It's
I
not
still-
going to go. It's not going to drop dramatically or anything.
No. All right, it's my pick.
On the clock, baby.
I've gotten all the running backs I need.
Okay.
Tight ends, like I said, I think I can wait longer before looking at a Jonnu Smith.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to go grab the guy that stands out to me as the highest upside right now,
That's
which
a
is
lot of
Marquez
upside.
Callaway.
Yep.
So love grabbing him here in the 9th round. He's going to be the wide receiver one for
Yeah.
Sean Payton's Saints team.
And that's what makes me feel good.
Exactly. That's the most important part to me over the fact that it's Jameis Winston.
I was going to
It's
say, what if he
Sean
was,
Payton.
What if Jameis was backup?
What if Jameis was backup? That
does
really
that
wouldn't
impact it?
change. That really wouldn't change anything to me. I still think that they're going to find ways to get their most talented players out in space.
Yep.
With Michael Thomas gone, the top of that list for wide receiver has to be Marquez Callaway. We've seen what Traquan Smith is. He's not going to be a number one.
No, I agree with that. There goes Gesicki, Myers. That kind of sucks to see. Definitely somebody I was thinking about at this point.
Mm-hmm.
We are on the clock in 2 picks.
I've got my
Hey,
team.
Brant's
It's gorgeous.
drafting on my team. He's whispering in my ear. Okay, Gallup,
I was
perfect.
about to say, don't you dare take a kicker.
At this point, yeah, like you said, the targets are absolutely... yeah, as he throws his hands up. The targets for Pittman are for sure going to be there. You can wait this late and grab him.
Which is incredible.
I feel good.
Yes.
Got a quick turnaround. I'm just going to eye QB real quick.
Tannehill's just sitting there. for you.
Tannehill's sitting there. That's really interesting. If I don't get Tannehill, what kind of teardrop am I looking at? For me, Tannehill's a top 10 guy with rushing upside.
Not much rushing
He
upside.
had 7 rushing touchdowns. 6 or 7 rushing touchdowns last year.
Okay.
I'm not expecting it to be like Kyler or Lamar, but, at this point in the draft, yeah, the O is because he was on the COVID list.
Right.
It's not like, he just
No.
needs to wait to get off it. Give him some time. He'll be ready most likely for the season. Not really concerned about anything. I'm
You
done
have
at
a
quarterback.
Drop there. You know what? I'm a fan of go get your guy. With Julio there, you have a nice little stack.
I love stacks.
And you have a long wait. I'm perfectly fine with that call. I might have waited to see if I could get Hurts, Tua, or Matt Ryan to follow me in the next. Those are those guys that are right around the same area for me.
Okay.
But I do understand if you've got a teardrop there,
For me,
go
yes.
for it.
I absolutely do.
So
I have to go get my guy. Hi, there goes Hollywood.
Hollywood.
I'm still not a fan.
I understand. I do think that there's reasons that he could turn it around this season.
He's got an actual preseason now to actually get the reps down.
There goes Jonnu Smith.
Damn it.
Was
Does that
hoping to
concern
come
you
back.
at all? Do you want to? Are you thinking about tight end a little bit more now?
In the double-digit rounds, that's the last starting position.
Yeah.
I am starting to think about it a little. The guys that are standing out to me, I really like both Tanyan and Higbee. They're still both there. So I'd probably look at them. Antonio Brown went before I could get him, so Gronk is sitting there as well.
That's what I was thinking about too. I want some of that offense. That should be, again, a top 5 offense.
Oh, absolutely.
I want a piece of it. And at tight end, it's such a crapshoot. Like, do you fall into the end zone? If you do, top 10. Congrats for the week.
Very true.
So, yeah, it's kind of a bummer to see Jonnu go. There's one of your.
There's Mike Williams, a
Mike
guy that I
Williams.
really like. I was shocked to see him fall as late as he was, but he isn't everyone's favorite, which will make me all the more proud
I was
when
gonna
he
say.
goes and is victorious and successful.
And I'm not all in on him. I'm not
No.
all in on Mike Williams.
Not a big fan of
I'll
Mike
let you
Williams?
know. No.
There goes Tyler Higbee.
He's had a lot of chances.
So I'm sitting here looking at Tanyan, looking at Gronk.
Yep.
Let's see. I do have a bit of a short reach, but quite frankly, none of these RBs are going to stand out to me. None of these wide receivers really are.
Nobody's jumping out at this
No,
point.
I'm going to go ahead and go get my guy. I'm going to get Gronk.
Get you some.
Give me some Gronk.
There goes A.J. Dillon. Remind me of A.J. Dillon's many nicknames.
Ha!
Oh, no,
Quadzilla,
Mooney.
the Quad Father,
The Quad Father. That's my favorite. Oh, my goodness.
and coming on a shirt, hopefully soon,
God.
the Quad God.
The Quad God. Oh,
Love it.
I didn't know that's what they were calling you now.
That's exactly what they're calling.
Brent, did you know that?
The
They call him
Quad
the
God.
Quad God. Yeah, he's nodding
Shaking his hand.
He's like, yeah, I remember
Thank you. That works great on mics.
That was awesome. Yeah, real crystal clear.
The Buccaneers defense just win. Don't be that guy.
Boo!
Don't be that guy.
So how many defenses on average do you take? Brant, this is not for you. Moran, how many defenses you taken?
How many defenses have I taken?
No, are you taking?
Oh.
Brant's
One.
saying 2 or 3,
One.
at least 3.
I'm taking one defense.
Okay, we only do one defense.
Yes, and the second to last round or the last round, depending on which looks better, the kicker choice or
Brant's
the
got
defense
a
choice.
big
I
old
don't
smile
care, though.
on at this point.
I really don't. All right, it's my turn. I'm back up after grabbing my tight end.
Yes.
Let's see here. RBs, nothing great standing out to me.
Are you
the
thinking
last guys
James
I'm
White at all or
interested-
McKissick?
Honestly, I'm thinking Philip Lindsay more than those guys. I'm thinking Philip Lindsay and Malcolm Brown are the guys that I look at there.
Just a
and go,
higher shot to
that
kind
might
of take over that backfield?
Exactly.
Because it is basically senior citizens in Houston.
It is senior citizens. He's also the best PPR option there, for sure.
Sure.
I really do believe he will take over that offense.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the wide receiver choices. I'm going to go grab my guy, Russell
5,
Gage.
4. Nice.
Russell Gage is there.
Yes.
See, that's the thing. We don't have to try to guess at which of these situations. No matter what running back takes the job in Houston, the value of that backfield is still not going to be great.
I was going to say it's not going to be too big.
But
There
I can
goes
go.
Goddard.
There goes Goddard. Tanyan's still out there, so you definitely still have some tight end options.
That's the guy I'm thinking about for sure. I mean, wide receiver, there's a few guys that I'm kind of interested in. I like Mecole a little bit more than you.
I'm not a fan.
I know
We've
you're
seen
not.
It. It's not going to happen.
I mean, say the same thing about Mike Williams. And, we'll see. I guess we'll see what happens. Brad Edwards is kind of interesting as a later round pick. St. Brown is there.
I was about to say, 2 of my favorite rookies to grab, and this late, I'm fine grabbing a rookie wide receiver,
Sure.
are still there. Amon-Ra St. Brown, as well as, did he just go? No, Terrence Marshall is still there. I don't like Terrence Marshall's opportunity. I really think that Robbie Anderson's going to be the guy there. But Terrence Marshall's talent is remarkable. It is pretty dang incredible. So,
True. I like it.
he's one of the late guys that I really like there.
Defenses are starting to go.
Don't care.
Just pointing it out, I always laugh
3
when
defenses.
that starts to happen. People are looking at this list, they're unfamiliar with so many names, and they're like, I'm going to go get a defense, which, rarely, if ever,
No.
repeats his back-to-back elite seasons.
What about you? What are some of these wide receivers that's sticking out to you?
I actually don't mind
Mecole,
taking
like
a
you said.
shot at Mecole or Jalen. I don't love Rager,
No.
but at this point, off my bench, he's kind of worth the flyer to me. Honestly, there is such a big... Oh,
he
no.
went.
Oh,
The pick
no.
before you.
I was just
Robert
teeing it up.
Tonyan.
I was going to say, I feel so good about him falling to me. That's going to be awesome. At this point, tight end, I do not care about. I'll get who I get. There's still some names out there that are,
I was about
they'll
to
fall
say,
into the end zone.
Blake
a few
Jarwin
times.
is the next guy that really sticks out to me as a guy who has the upside potential.
I'm going to go ahead and get
Ooh.
Mecole,
All
which
right.
I know you don't like. But
No.
look, he's having a good preseason so far. I know that you don't care about it, but he's looking
don't.
better. Maybe third year's his
So,
breakout year.
how much time have you
Think.
spent in Kansas City watching the preseason?
Have I been actually
work
watching
there?
preseason?
Yeah, training camp.
How many times have I seen his games, or have I seen?
No,
been
I was talking
in
about
Kansas
training
City?
camp.
Oh, zero.
But
And I'm not paying
more than his
attention to
preseason
training
games. His
camp hype or
preseason
anything.
game, fine.
Looked good.
He's looked good.
He's looked good. He's had some good catches. If anything, 50-55% of the targets are automatically gone to Kelsey and Tyreek.
Yes.
Maybe he takes another step forward in his third year. Again, starting him is going to be difficult. He would have to just show all the way out. I love my running backs. I have 4 that I'm very comfortable with, and Sermon is who I'm expecting to take over really the back end of the year.
Love the upside there.
At this point, too, as a flyer and for my second to last bench spot, I don't mind getting a little bit more of that Detroit offense overall. I'm not expecting it to be huge.
At this point.
Yeah, at this point, I'm like, there's no cost.
No. So, went and grabbed Amon-Ra St. Brown.
Yep.
You knew if he was there, I would take him.
I did.
With my next pick. So, I understand why you did it.
I wanted
Hurts me
Gage,
deeply.
damn it. Because,
you want
again,
Gage. I got Gage.
on my
Yes.
in the league that I drafted on in on Monday, with my last bench spot, I knew at that point nobody was listening in. I'm like, I know I can get Gage with my last, and it felt so good. And 2 people cursed at me, and I've never felt better about a decision I made.
Oh, it's always great.
That was
That's
awesome.
One of the best times to get
it's
yelled
perfect.
at
I love it.
by people you know is when
Right.
you're drafting. That's the best.
It felt good. What are you thinking at this point? Let's do a refresh of your team.
All right, let's break it down real
The
quick.
man Moran, hit us with it.
Lamar Jackson at QB, Alvin Kamara, David Montgomery, Justin Jefferson, Robbie Anderson, Gronk at tight end,
Woo.
Gus Edwards at flex.
Nice.
On my bench, Sony Michel, Michael Carter, Marquez Callaway, Russell Gage. I've got 3 bench
Solid.
spots left, a
You do.
defense and a kicker. I've got a solid team. I really like my team a lot.
It looks good. Lots of upside.
Lots of upside. That's really what you see from my wide receiver core. I've got my RBs locked down. Those
Yes.
are guys who are going to get touches, going to get work. But my wide receivers are all guys that I am like, you have that top potential to really perform at your ADP. I'm taking that. I'm not worried about the floor for my wide receiver. Justin Jefferson is a good enough guy that he's my floor. That's the
I was
wide
gonna say.
receiver 1. I'll take some floor. But beyond that, I want that upside.
Yes, definitely.
So that's what I'm looking at here, too.
You are on the clock.
You had to go ahead and take Amon-Ra St. Brown for me, you monster.
I see the upside there.
I'm going to go ahead and grab Philip Lindsay here. I talked about him a little bit earlier.
Yeah.
None of these wide receivers are sticking out to me as great options.
I agree.
I'm going to go ahead and grab someone that I do think has a potential
Malcolm
to
Brown
return
is
value.
still there.
I know.
Any interest?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Think he'll come back?
He might. We'll see. I was pretty amazed at how long Philip Lindsay was there. Go ahead. Assume that the carcass of David Johnson still has that job. Let's go ahead and assume it. They went and grabbed everyone else that they possibly could. Mark Ingram and everyone else. I don't think they trust David Johnson.
I don't think
I'm
so.
going to pick one of the guys from there. I'm going to pick the pass catching monster Philip Lindsay.
Here's a question for you.
Let me hear it.
Let's say you do grab a Christian McCaffrey or Dalvin Cook, one of those elite running backs with a backup that you would expect to walk into a significant amount of touches and really be that main guy. When, if ever, do you grab that handcuff? You personally, what are you thinking?
I'm not a big fan of handcuffs. If we are talking about specifically CMC,
yeah, I mean, there's a couple guys where the handcuff is like there is a clear
handcuff for the three that we're talking about: CMC, Zeke,
yes,
and Dalvin Cook. This is the pick I would go for because I have such comfort with the rest of my team.
Yeah, you've got 2 bench spots, so
I have 2 bench spots. My last 2, fine. I'll put someone on there. I'm not a big fan of grabbing handcuffs. I don't like the idea of trying to grab someone else's and then hope that one turns out to be the guy. It's just not the way it usually works for me.
I agree.
I'm going to go ahead and grab Terrence Marshall Jr.
Nice.
I know that's another Carolina Panthers wide receiver, but I don't care at this point in the draft.
I was going to say.
And if he's the rookie extraordinaire, if he breaks the record books, which I don't think will happen this year.
No.
Then
I don't
guess
either.
what? I've got him there to take Robbie Anderson's spot.
Yes.
I'm not going to hold him for that reason though. Like if he comes out and stinks, I'm dropping him for someone else after week 1.
Fair enough. I like it.
Yeah, but this would be the spot where I would look at a handcuff. But I am going to be very comfortable dropping that handcuff if I need to go grab someone
I was going to say that's.
I'm not going to hold that handcuff all year long. If we get to week 12, 13, I know I'm locked in for playoffs. Then I'll go ahead and pick that
I was
handcuff
gonna say,
back up.
That's when I'm personally securing it.
Yes.
If we're getting towards the later rounds and I still see value out there, and I know I can just go pick up one of those guys, I don't mind grabbing a handcuff if it is one of those elite running backs. But
and
like
we're talking about those 3 that we know exactly who that backup's going to be. Alexander
There's
Madison
no
for
ambiguity
Dalvin
in
Cook,
that. Like
Tony Pollard for Zeke, and Chuba Hubbard for CMC. Chuba. Chuba.
Wink. His attempted hurdle still just cracks me up a few weeks ago.
So you go ahead and grab a tight end at some point?
That's what I'm thinking about.
Today?
No, I don't need to start a full roster. I'm going to take one. Well, actually, at this point, there's a few guys I'm looking at. For tight end, this is an Ingram. My goodness. Yeah, Blake Jarwin's my guy.
I like it.
At this point, that offense, the Cowboys' offense, should still be very good.
Yes.
He's proven
And
that he was good in
defense will
his very
still be
small
bad.
sample size. Yeah, exactly. Rams D, Jameson Crowder. Do I go defense? No.
Last
Let me fill
bench
out that
spot.
last bench spot. I have 6 wide receivers, 5 running backs. That means I can do whatever I feel like. I don't care about handcuffs because it doesn't apply to me.
No.
Let me get Malcolm Brown.
I think that was a smart pick.
Boom.
It would have been my my last bench spot.
I kind of figured when I brought it up to you, I was like, I'm surprised you didn't take a look at. I mean, I knew you were looking at it, but I was curious where you were at.
I looked at it. If you wanted to pick him over Philip Lindsay, you're fine taking that one. I just kind of grabbed the guy at the top end. I believe I was running out of time.
That's the thing. We're on a quicker clock too.
We are.
But I kind of like it. It's just you got to go with your gut. And
Exactly.
I like it.
So we don't have drinks tonight. Otherwise, I think we would have had to have cheers about.
I've got a tea.
7-8 times. Tea? Okay.
I've got a tea. At this point, let's see.
That's how you know we've been drafting. Is when on a Friday night we're going. You know what? We don't. I'm good on the drinks.
Dude, it's been a long week. Moran the
So I
man.
am on
You have your last bench spot.
My last bench spot. Who am I gonna take? Rondale Moore for Arizona. Not bad. Nico Collins.
That's not bad.
Probably not.
And I can no longer
Jefferson.
see.
Not a big fan. Let's see. Running backs. Carlos Hyde. No. Rashad Penny is really the last running back that looks interesting to me.
That is pretty interesting.
He is someone they have held on for so long.
First round pick 3 years ago, right? Like.
And the other guy who actually stands out here, RB wise, is Kenneth Gainwell.
9. Ooh, interesting.
I'm gonna go ahead and
5,
grab running back
4.
Gainwell.
And he just got it in.
Just barely.
Nice. I will say too,
For
felt,
PPR, I'm happy with it.
Oh heck yeah! I felt so good. In
here we go.
my Monday league, we
Oh
do
no!
not need
I
to fill.
only got all the options at defense I could possibly hope for. Patriots defense grabbed right now.
Look at that! Boom! Cleveland is one that I'm very high on, but week 1,
I was about to say, I
Kansas
just
City.
don't like their starting schedule.
it's horrible, man. Let's see what I don't look at kickers. Oh, okay. Let me get Butker. I am excited about that personally because that offense is going to score a ton.
Yes.
I waited till the last round. Defense, it's
Second to last round.
second to last round. It's probably a little bit easier to stream.
But that's exactly the situation where I'm like,
It's
sure,
kinda
I'll pick
like-
a kicker before a defense if it's the top kicker and it's
I was gonna.
2 picks before my defense,
Right.
and the defense really doesn't matter. A defense I love to grab if I'm waiting for later, where not those top ones are usually gone. Miami Dolphins. They had a
Miami's
great
very.
week
I love
1,
Miami.
and it's a very underrated defense from last year. They were incredible.
Yeah, they were top 5, I think, in takeaways. Like they didn't give
They
up
were
a ton
number
of
1 on
points.
third down to stop those turnovers. They were great. So they're definitely one of those defenses that I like later that you can always just pick up.
Yeah, I'm with you. I like them a lot too. For me personally, I'm going with Sean Payton's Saints.
The Saints. Are you
Are
worried at
coming.
all because they won't be starting the season in New Orleans?
No.
I'm not
No,
worried about it.
I'm not too concerned about it. That does suck, but you know, I'm confident with them. I think they're still going to be a great unit. I don't think they're missing too many people. I'm not expecting Jameis to be Jameis of old. I think Peyton's going to keep him a little more under control. You saw it a few times too, where he didn't force the issue, even in preseason.
No, he looks good.
Bailed. He threw a couple out of bounds. He scrambled a little bit. Nothing was there. He did not force it. I think they're going to try to be a little bit more game management.
Young Ho.
That's the guy. I was going to say between him and Butker, those are probably the two. There might be 1 or 2 others that slip in there, but Atlanta's going to score so many points because they have to.
They do.
And guess what? He's going to get like 40% of his points for your kicker, Young Ho, in like the fourth quarter.
Perfectly
Third,
happy
fourth
with
quarter,
it.
garbage time. I'm good with that. Let's really quickly just run through our team and talk through it. So go ahead and lead us off.
All right. We ran through mine a little earlier.
We
Didn't
did.
change too much, but let's break it down. RBs are staples. Alvin Kamara there at the 4th pick.
Solid.
Loved it. David Montgomery there in the 3rd round. Absolutely happy to get him there. He's dropping there more and more and couldn't be happier about it.
For real.
Gus Edwards there at flex. Love the upside there. Sorry, J.K. Dobbins. Sony Michel, Michael Carter. There are my other 2 really like lockdown RBs that I could start any week and feel fine with it for RB2s.
Definitely.
Now I've got Philip Lindsay and Kenneth Gainwell as 2 lottery pick RBs late. And that's just because I loved who I got for my first 2 bench wide receivers and Marquez Callaway, Russell Gage. My 2 starters, Justin Jefferson, gonna always be there.
I was
Don't
gonna
have to
say,
think about it.
yeah.
My wide receiver 2 spot, love him. Robbie Anderson,
Top shelf guy.
top shelf guy, absolutely. So Marquez Callaway, Russell Gage, then finish it up with Terrence Marshall, one of my favorite rookie wide receivers to grab. I am super pumped about this team. Tight end Gronk, Patriots D, Young Ho at kicker. I'm super
That won
excited.
it for you right there. Your kicker.
Absolutely. But the fact that I could get
Our
such
producer.
a great lockdown team at running back while also getting that top end QB of Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, that looks nice.
That was great. That made it
I
a
like
home
that
run
a
for
lot.
me. So, loved it.
All right, going through my team, I have Ryan Tannehill, which I was super excited to grab because he is a
Absolutely.
top 10, is how I have him statted out. Jonathan Taylor and Najee Harris. I love that duo. That's exactly what I was hoping for. Julio and Claypool. I feel super great about that. Blake Jarwin, indifferent about.
That's fine. That's what you get when you
literally
wait till like the 13th round.
Right, exactly. Let's see. Blake Jarwin, DeAndre Swift, super excited about. My bench, I really, really like especially the top half. Kareem coming off the bench, Will Fuller, and Trey Sermon feels great. I do like Pittman. Harmon's
Yes.
kind of a lottery ticket. Armand St. Brown, kind of wait and see. And
I don't
Malcolm
think
Brown
you'll
at
have to
running
wait.
back.
I think you'll know really early on. Is he going to be the number 1 wide receiver there, or is it just going to be the Hawkins and DeAndre Swift show?
Yep.
In which case, guess what? You got DeAndre Swift. So
Yeah,
you're going to be
exactly.
set.
Right. So I feel good about that. Saints D, Harrison Butker for Kansas City should be a 1 or 2 offense again, depending
Like it.
on how you feel about Tampa.
Yep. Think it's great.
I feel good. Awesome.
I like it a lot.
Good deal.
What do you think about drafting from your spot there at this end of the turn compared to my spot from number 4? I've talked about this before. The pick 4 is kind of heaven to me because I get the earliest in that turnaround in the second round while also getting one of the top 4 running backs where there is really a teardrop after that.
I was going to say, yeah, because at worst, you're coming away with Derrick Henry. That's my personal
How
4.
tragic.
And I was going to say, if that's what you're starting off with, I'm like, all right, rushing God. Like, I feel great about that. I don't mind the 11 and 12, or like 10, 11, 12 sort of
Getting
range.
the Najee there.
That feels awesome.
Absolutely.
Like, I feel so comfortable. I like to lean on running backs personally, and knowing what I can get value-wise at wide receiver, which is Julio and Claypool, I feel great about.
Just talented
Kareem
freaks.
is my 4th running back, and Sermon at 5. I reached for him a little bit, but I felt great about that. I would have felt, if you were not in this draft, I am confident I would have had Gage on this, and I would have felt just so much better. And it sucks, because now I'm starting to get sniped on him even more.
He is finally
being
correctly starting to move up in
Right.
drafts. It's still not nearly where he should be going. Absolutely a late grab. The guy who I think we missed out on, the guy that I was most disappointed to miss out on, was Antonio Brown. Went the pick before me. That would have been a guy I would have just absolutely been over the moon to have gotten on my bench. But go ahead, give me more running backs, and then let me pick up Marquez Callaway.
Right.
I'm not going to
love
cry
that.
tonight
I love
about
that upside.
miss.
I was going to say that's another guy that I've been targeting as well. Came away with him on Tuesday draft. Was super happy about that. He got
fantastic upside.
Everybody's starting to recognize that. His preseason, he's looked awesome.
He's
incredible. No competition for targets.
Exactly.
So I feel really good about that. That was the back end of your bench right there, or the middle of your bench felt awesome.
Oh, yes.
Like Gage and him, what a combo. Because the targets are going to be there for both.
When that happened, when I got both of them after having Justin Jefferson as well, I kind of went,
yeah, felt pretty good.
All right, it's whatever I want now.
Yeah.
I am playing with house money.
Jinx. I'm like, I know what you're saying. We probably hang out too much. No, it's never enough. It's never enough. Awesome. Well, great draft. I felt good about that.
Yes.
All
right. We will see you guys on Monday. We're going to start looking next week at breaking down who we actually recommend starting week 1. Yes. Who are guys that you drafted early that maybe you shouldn't look at playing week 1. This is a situation that I think is so ridiculous. Everyone just goes, oh, start who you... No. Look at your bench. You could have picked up guys who have better opportunities, better game choices, game selections.
Mostert's a great example.
Oh.
Going ultra late, and right now the job is his. Behind a top, they run top the 5. Last year they were at least 5th best in total rushing yards. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what they're doing. They're running behind that O-line and use check. It's amazing.
Couldn't agree more. For instance, for you, I'm going to look at Pittman where he's going because I'm not a huge fan of Claypool's
at Buffalo.
Yes,
that's a tough way to start the season. I agree with that.
So I definitely look at him where he's going. Do you know who the Colts are facing week 1? I really don't know.
I don't remember.
But you know what? When we will know that for sure? Monday's episode. So tune in. Also, follow us on Twitter, like I said, for all the injury info you need to know this weekend for drafting.
Gotta know it.
At OLFF Podcast. We'll see you guys on Monday. Good night.
Good night.